I've been spending too much time making outlandish deck ideas for you, the viewer. Now it's time for me to practice for Eternal Weekend, Europe and Japan, both of which I'm trying to win. All right, welcome back, vintage gamers, to a off-stream recording. Haven't done one of these in a while. This is going to be my first testing session for Eternal Weekend Europe and Japan. This is fresh off yesterday's banner restricted announcement, seeing no changes in vintage, which is what we all expected and hoped for. Obviously, we can start talking about some unrestrictions, I would hope, come 2026 after Eternal Weekends are all finished, but feels a little silly to do some unrestrictions right before two regions' biggest vintage events. So I'm definitely going to take some of my clout and push for some unrestrictions, kind of like Pauper did with their trial unrestrictions, hopefully, come 2026. But for now, we're working with the same format as we have for Eternal Weekend in North America, but obviously some things have changed, and Magic Online, the cycle got moving again for a little while. I would say that things have been shifting. If we look at, let's take a quick look at this and see how this tool works out for me. If I look at, this is the time since Tezzeret, and this is the time before Tezzeret. Let's see if we can make it so it's a similar amount of data. 4/4/25 maybe. It's pretty close. 2 weeks, so 4/11/25. 4/13/25. This thing is just good to make similar data sets. So if we're looking at all the time since Tezzeret, which is almost 4 months now, maybe it's more like 3 months, and then the time before, 61 events of data. What kind of changes are we looking at in the metagame? And we're seeing, actually an interesting is a decrease in sphere shops, but there has been a really large increase in sphere shops in recent data. Maybe we'll take a look at that as well. But some of those percentages shifting between sphere shops and into Jewel and Raker and that kind of thing. Slightly more dredge on Magic Online after Tezzeret. Kind of these Tinker decks have slightly fallen off for sure, especially like Tinker PO, Tinker Besiege, that kind of thing. Whereas Initiative has picked back up on Magic Online. Oath saw its big resurgence post Tezzeret, as well as the shift from Esper and Lurrus, Esper and Blue-Black sharing the meta share to being more Blue-Black focused in the meta share. Lurrus PO fell off like a cliff online after Tezzeret was printed, and also did kind of fall off win rate wise as well. It dropped from a winning deck at 52% to actually a below 50% win rate deck on Magic Online. Whereas we have seen that Gift Strain deck pick up post Tezzeret and is even winning more now after it's being picked up even more, which is an interesting thing to keep your eye on. That's definitely a deck I should probably be putting more time into, but it's also a deck that I don't find as enjoyable as Lurrus PO, so it's a little tough. If we want to maybe separate this into the 2 months after Tezzeret till now, let's see what that kind of share looks like here. So a little bit less. So let's go like 9/15. Oh, that might be too much. There must have been like a double weekend there. Let's do 9/20/25. That might be better. Yeah, that's pretty close. So we'll take up this time period here since Tezzeret and then the second phase after. And you can see there are huge differences in some of these win rates here. We've seen that Sphere Shops has picked up 3% meta share and is winning more as a metagame answer to the dredge heavy metagame that we saw. We can see that Jewel fell off a cliff in terms of meta share, going from 10% down to 4%, and did suffer that win rate loss as well. I do think that it makes sense. I just had a video with Jewel go out. I felt like it makes sense that Jewel fell off. It was being played too much for a linear deck. You'll hear me talk about Dredge and Mono White and Jewel and how I think they're supposed to be played to on certain weekends, and I think people were playing Jewel too much. But I did just have a very nice performance with Jewel on stream where I didn't even play super well. I think I played pretty poorly in general, and I did very well. The more people disrespect Jewel, the better that Jewel gets, right? We have seen that Raker, now that it's a little bit more defined, is actually seeing a lot of success. 55% win rate in the last, whatever that is, that 2 months or so, 233 events. I will say that there's a lot of success of this is coming from that build that drops the Patchwork Automatons. Just something to keep in mind. Dredge actually has picked up, and I think it shouldn't have picked up, and it's seeing even more of a win rate decrease. It's really struggling. It should be played so much less than 10% of the metagame should be Dredge, and it's really suffering because of it. And then we look down here at Initiative. Initiative has dropped off slightly since that initial uprising around Tezzeret, and is actually seeing a win rate increase because of it. It's down to still 15% Metastair, still the most played deck in the format if you don't combine the two Lurrus Frog decks, but it's actually faring a lot better. And then, like I said, Oath has picked up. It was doing really well at the very beginning, where it was a counter to the metagame at the time, but it has since dropped off. But it still has like a pretty solid win rate in the last 2 months. We look like overall the share of Lurrus has gone, control has gone down 2.5%, and the win rate has dropped substantially from that blue-black list that was terrorizing the vintage queues has been kind of answered. You can kind of see that inside of different metagame shifts, like the Oath metagame shift. You see the Lurrus Deathrite Shaman has picked up a bit because of its performance at Eternal Weekend. Lurrus PO has stayed about the same for the last 2 months. Not much is changing there, but it's like I said, it's not a very winning deck right now. It's a 50% winner deck. You're good against everyone, but you're also not very great against everyone. And then the Lurrus Breach deck has actually had a really big shift in meta share. It's picked up a lot of the Lurrus PO players in my mind, though the Lurrus PO meta stream hasn't really shifted. But Lurrus PO is actually being played less online than Gifts Breach really is. This is not only Gifts Breach, to be fair. Like there are also some Lurrus Frog Breach players and some other Lurrus Breach players that are not on Gifts Drain, but I would say Gifts Drain is the predominant version of Lurrus Breach now, and it's probably the most it's the best performing deck in Magic Online in the last 2 months for sure. Raker Shops and Lurrus Breach are the two decks that have performed the best in the last 2 months. So with that in mind, I am going to start by just playing out my normal Lurrus PO deck in a league and just get a feel of what's going on here. The things I would be concerned about with picking a deck like this is that you are going to be maybe unfavored against that a Lurrus Breach player. That could be a problem. The reason you might want to play this is you're going to be pretty favored against that mono black scam deck that's popped up a ton because players saw it do well at Eternal Weekend and they're thinking about playing it. You're going to have a better game plan against mono white. Basically, I think that against like the non-breach decks of the field, you're 51, 52% win rate kind of deck, and you have node matchups that are particularly challenging to like a huge degree. Like Jewel and Sphere Shops, I think, are some of your worst matchups, but they can be fixed with slight sideboard tweaks. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to make some slight sideboard tweaks. What I've done is I've incorporated the third Tundra into the main so that I don't have to play a Plains in the side, and I've diversified the fetch lands to match. That seems like the thing that most of the strong Lurrus PO players are doing, and I'll concede the fact that the Plains in the sideboard had some issues for me in terms of mana and casting things. So we're just going to up the Tundra count. It'll also give me a sideboard slot. And the reason I want sideboard slots is so I can play 2 Consigns, a Hurkyl's Recall, and a Mindbreak Trap, and these cards will help me bridge the gap against some of those. The Mindbreak Trap will be dual purpose against Jewel and against Breach, and sometimes even against Raker and that kind of thing. And these Consigns will help make the matchup for Jewel and Raker better. I'm going to still keep with most of my flex slots here. I really do like my flex slots. I wouldn't go anywhere without this chain, and I think for an Eternal Weekend metagame, I like the swords in the main. The dress down could be another sword, or it could be something else, but I think the dress down at least has a little bit more cross applicability than like a second swords would. Like the dress down can still be good against Breach and that kind of thing. And then I did take out 1 Tormod script to help fit things in on this sideboard. So I don't like the Force of Negation's main that you might run with like Remoras and being like a little bit more controlling. I think that's probably going too far for my taste. But I'm going to play this as it is, and I'll see how it fares. And like if you keep running to this Breach deck and we're not having a good time, then maybe we need to reevaluate exactly what we want to look at for Eternal Weekend. So I'm going to play this to League, and I will see you in round 1. Did you know subscribing here on YouTube and following on Twitch are both free ways you can support my vintage content? All right, here we go. We're going to practice through a league. I'm going to try to make decisions at a reasonably fast pace. I'm still going to do my normal talking through of things, but I want to try to keep pace in mind here as we move towards more paper events, Eternal Weekend, and stuff like that. You don't get the same kind of cadence when you're playing in paper versus online in terms of how long you get to make choices. We are up against another Lurrus player here. This hand is totally reasonable. It's not a great hand because there are no great PO hands that don't include Moxen, but seems reasonable. Verdant Catacombs is a pretty big tell. Immediately, you're going to assume that your opponent is on a Deathrite Shaman deck. So this is the Lurrus Deathrite Shaman deck. I actually think this matchup is pretty reasonable for the PO side. And I've kind of always felt that way when you have like the 4 Swords of Plowshares. I don't have the ability really to play through a wasteland with basics here, so I'm just going to do the fetch for Meticulous Archive and play like that. Get rid of this Mox Pearl. I do need to keep in mind that I have 1 less fetch and 1 more Tundra. That does change things. I am down to diversify my lands in play and cast a Merchant Scroll for an Ancestral. One of the problems with Merchant Scroll for Ancestral here is that my opponent can have a Bowmaster Psychic Frog. Didn't get dazed there on my Merchant Scroll. Something to think about. And then Brainstorm. Okay. So we'll have to see if my opponent just chooses to go Brainstorm into Frog. If they go Brainstorm into Frog, probably not countering Frog. Probably protecting my Ancestral. Jet. That's kind of an annoying one, because now they can play a 2-drop and hold open like a Flusterstorm Spell Pierce style card. I have to look at these latest lists and see what these Lurrus Deathrite players are running. I assume that hasn't changed much, but it kind of depends on whose list they copied. 2 Bowmaster, 4 Frog, 2 Oof, 2 Pierce, a Daze, 3 Negation. So I'm definitely not interested in Ancestraling on my turn, unless it's maybe in response to a Bowmaster. Tolarian looks a little silly here. I guess the question is, am I going to cast this Thunder Trap Trainer first? And I think the answer to that question is yes. I think I can wait on this Ancestral Recall. Especially if I can build out my mana situation here, which I'm not really able to do. I was hoping for like a normal Mox, maybe. A Mana Vault's like a little sus because I can't really play a Mana Vault and then have the ability to Ancestral when I want to. But I think it's okay to wait out here. Probably just pitching this Lorien to Force at some point. So now the question becomes, is my opponent going to... yes, Surveil Land. Very nice. Surveil Land and Eat probably, which is a nice play. They are now tapped out of... Okay, they're not going to Eat so that they don't tap out of Spell Pierce. That's interesting. Okay, good to know. So we probably have a Spell Pierce. That would be the only reason not to Eat there besides just missing it. Eating now to probably play a Lurrus or a Oof maybe to get green mana for a Oof. That's fine. We don't have any artifacts in play right now. Does that mean I want to go get another Tundra? Or do I want to just play Mana Vault into Larian? I think I just want to play Mana Vault into Larian. It's unfortunate, obviously, but... Oh. Does that change anything? Does, right? I can play Mana Vault and... Not really. Alright, I'm going to pass. Wasteland is definitely something that might force me into action here. And I'm not going to really be able to get this stock up through a Spell Pierce unless they don't Wasteland me, so... I was hoping this would be a kind of a quicker recording, but we might be in for the grind life here. I think my read is my opponent has Frog and Spell Pierce in hand is my read. They could also have a Bowmaster. There's Frog. Okay, I'm gonna respond to that with Ancestral Recall targeting me. Now they can respond to this by tapping Wasteland, tapping Deathrite Shaman, and playing a Bowmaster. They did Force Pitch Dig. I'm gonna do Force Pitch Lorien. Still beating Spell Pierce if they have Spell Pierce as their card off of Deathrite Shaman, which I kind of felt like they did. Don't think they have Bowmaster now though. I feel like you would just play Bowmaster and let it. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, they have Bowmaster still. Okay. I mean, I think I'm okay with that. If I'm resolving an Ancestral, I think that's acceptable. We'll see. They are also resolving Tapped Out Frog here. I have a PO. I don't get to keep my trainer because it gets mowed down. I could force this Frog, but I think it doesn't seem like something I want to do. Maybe I could just force this Frog pitching PO and just cast stock up on my turn. I do have to beat this big orc token as well. Yeah, maybe I will pitch this. It's like I don't have a really good PO option, so it is unfortunate to lose a trainer because one of my best plays here is Flame of Venor. Yeah, it's certainly not great for me. Dress down. Wow, dress down means I really wish I kept my really wish I had kept my PO. We might have to just go for it, right? We'll take 4, 6, 7, 9 down to 4. I think I just have to take dress down and pearl and see if we can get there. Let's see what happens. I do wish I had that PO now, though. But a frog would be threatening lethal here, right? So I think it's for the best. I do have a problem where my dress down might not resolve. Also, they could wasteland my untapped Volk. That would be a huge deal, too. Kind of just threatened enough. I don't know if I was supposed to... I'm surprised that they went Force into Bowmaster, but it makes sense. I just don't know like how often that this Bowmaster matters. But the clock is definitely a change here, so... I'm going to get the other red source so that I can't get wasted off red, and then I'll cast this. Hopefully they don't have hard cast negation here, but they might have hard cast negation here. I mean, if you can counter this, probably would. It's really hard for me to win through this. I'll just eat in response makes sense too. All right. Let's see what we can do. Time Walk is good. I have a lot of mana. No PO right now. Cataxium Probe. They can't Abrupt Decay my dress down. They can have another Bowmaster. But that won't matter much unless they go to another turn. I probably want a Lurrus this turn so I can loop with Lurrus. This train, I can either, I can end step a dress down again. I don't know if I want to end step a dress down. I might want to just dress down again on my next turn. It's a little tough. Yeah, the problem with casting Gataxian Probe for life is a Bowmaster on my next turn. They have Sapphire Cruise. Okay, and there's my PO. Let's go with as much draw as I can right now then. Yeah, I can cast Flame of Anor, draw 2. Maybe I want to wait on that so I can theoretically kill... I'm gonna PO the non-dress down things. It's a little weak. Oh, yeah, I guess that's a problem. I didn't really think about that. Maybe that was a bad play then. Okay. I didn't think about that at all. That was an interesting thought, yeah. Hmm. Definitely getting a Lurrus going, because I'm going to need this dress down again on the next turn. But I think I have to just draw 2. Fluster, fluster. Time walk. Lurrus. And Lantern. Can gain 3 here. I'm going to take 1 from my mana vault no matter what here. Probably. Do need to find another PO or something. A chain is interesting. Because what I could do is just replay a trainer. I have no guarantee that my dress down is actually going to help me. Cruise. Cruise Sapphire. I might just cast Trainer and try to find, I guess a Flame of Anor doesn't exactly help me. It just kills something. 5 life, 3 life, block, down to 2 life. I guess I am 5 life is too little unless I chain something. I mean, I could just chain the oof. Chaining the oof doesn't actually help me very much. I have to chain the Bowmaster to cast a draw spell. But what draw spell can I even hit off of Thundertrap Trainer here? I don't actually have a lot going for me. Actually don't have a lot of hits here. Might have backed myself into a corner here. I could chain the army. I could chain my Lurrus, sack a land, and chain the army, and then replay Lurrus. Chain my Lurrus, chain the oof, replay, play Lotus, chain Lurrus, chain the oof, replay Lurrus. That might be good. All right, let's try that. Let's try. Oh, hold on. I want to play. Play Lotus. Chain Lurrus. Sack Island. Chain Oof. They also need to use their death right, actually, to play Oof right now. So I could just Lantern their yard. And what I can do is I could maybe play my trainer from my yard. Oh, they're going to bounce their own Bowmaster. Oh, I should have Flusterstormed it. Okay. I think I should have Flusterstormed that copy then. That was a mistake. I didn't even think about that. I didn't think they would bounce their own Bowmaster there. That's a Flame of Anor. Which would have been really good if they had, well, I wouldn't have had the mana. So I guess what I'll do is take, do I want the flame? I'm gonna have to chump with my trainer, so I'd have to be able to recast the trainer, which would be tough. But also recasting Dress Down is gonna be tough too. Recasting Dress, I mean, I might just need flame. Hit their yard. All right, so they get to replay a Bowmaster. I go to 4. I can chump block here, though, and they can't attack. Also, oh, wait, they can eat off of my shit. Fuck! Never mind. They can eat off of my yard. I mean, I can't really do anything about that. This means they can't cruise, though. But they can replay Sapphire. They can play Sapphire, I guess. But this gives me a turn, I think, so... Barely gives me a turn. Hopefully they like do something else and I can Flusterstorm, but seems unlikely. I should definitely have Flusterstorm. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. They bounce their thing. I have to block. Well, if they play an oof, that means they don't use their death right this turn, which does give me some time here. No, they're just gonna eat my Tolarian and play oof. Which is only gonna take 1 mana away from me. I could get it back by just flaming it. Might have to, because I might need to play this Thunder Trap no matter what, right? Okay, so I think, yeah, I think the answer here is flame the oof without casting trainer first. Attack. Or recast trainer, then attack. And now if they did draw a counter, I can unlock that at least. I could dress down, but I think I just need a blocker. So I just cast my trainer. I'm running out of time. Stock up or Force of Will. I think I just want Force because I should be just recasting trainer every turn. And then I attack with this Lurrus to get 3 life back. 6 life, I block, I go to 5, I go to 4, I go to 2. I'm still alive. And there's no oof anymore. There's still an Orcish Bowmaster, though. I'm out of flames. I have 1 swords left in my deck. I have Snapcaster as well. Stock Up could hit Snapcaster. I could, of course, pay for this Mana Vault. This Abrupt Decay on my Thundertrap trainer to win for lethal. That's pretty funny. All right, well, nothing I'm going to really be able to do about that. That's a really unfortunate thing to happen. I don't know what I can really have done about that. All right, I might have made some like sequencing errors. I feel like I'm supposed to be able to get out of that game, but I could be wrong. Either way, we get a lot of really good cards for this matchup. All of these are coming in. I think Blasts are probably coming in as well. And then I really don't like Opal Lantern stuff here with all the oofs and things. Keep some number of forces. I do like Vexing Bauble still. So let's go with this. Let's keep a force in there that we can hit off of our trainers. Gonna have to play a little faster. I think I was supposed to win that game, but I just needed to find a better sequence. I'd have to go back and look though. Hand looks good. It's probably not an Ancestral on turn 1. Just because I have this protection. Let's take a peek. Collector Oof, Brainstorm, Force, Demonic, Kishla Skimmer. Okay. If he goes for, they go for, I mean, they're probably just gonna go tap land, right? I wonder if they'll probably force if I Ancestral. I only overdraw by 1, so I probably will go for it. They should probably just let me draw 2. This was pitching Skimmer. Just like my best target for Pyro, so. I mean, Frog's pretty good too, but. This lets me just draw back up to 7, so. It's a good exchange for me. If my opponent wants to jam an oof, I don't really care most of the time. I should have, like, swords to deal with it. Here's the Brainstorm. Looks like they're not going to go for the oof or the demonic. It'll be good. It'll let me use my emerald, maybe. I could do a lot of different things off of this. Do I want to go for a 4th for 1? I think that's actually fine. I'm not sure. Like, I could probably get away with not 4thing for 1 and just going with stock up right now. Swords. And probably just a trainer. Like, Manifold helps the 4th Erlingas, but I don't think that's how I'm supposed to play this game out. I think I'm just going to outvalue my opponent. That is the thing that I have going for me that my opponent's deck does not have. My opponent's deck has, like, very little draw engines. Maybe it has some stock ups in it that I can... But I have a Flusterstorm mana advantage, so... Obviously, my opponent brainstorms, so I don't know what cards are left. Oh. That was not something I thought I was going to see here. I don't have that covered in any meaningful way. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I do want a Mana Vault and just jam. I'm going to get some Thunder Trap Trainers in play this turn. Definitely okay with a Mox too to make it cost less. Chain stock up. Those are kind of not what I'm looking for. Take a stock up, but This Meticulous Archive is rotting away a little bit here, but not a huge deal. Flame, Sapphire, Misstep. Misstep hits Push, Shaman, Spell Pierce, and I'm already gone with Ancestral, so it's probably not worth it. I'm gonna take this Sapphire so I can have Flusterstorm and Swords up here. Might just be a Bowmaster, which I think is, again, fine. Bowmaster's like a little annoying when it comes to the Monarch, but it's not a huge deal. Also, I can just Swords it if I really want to. It's not like it can attack or anything. The Ancestral that my opponent found off the Brainstorm is a really big problem. I think it's a pretty hefty swing in terms of momentum in this game. My opponent was extremely far behind in cards, and now they're... I don't know if they're at parity, but they're getting closer to parity. Well, this might just be its own video, this match, considering it's probably going to be a 50-minute match. It's been a great match. This is definitely the kind of Magic that I love to play here, and is facilitated by Lurrus existing in the format. I wonder if they're going to Time Walk here, or are they just going to play an Oof? I'm going to float this, and I have enough mana now that I do want to get rid of the Oof. It does make it a little annoying in terms of how am I dealing with the rest of the board. Like, maybe I have to kill this frog. Maybe I don't. Mana. We're getting pretty close to just a huge fourth. I'm not convinced I'm supposed to do it right now. What would it be? 3, 4, 5. It'd be 5. And then I'd get pinged for 1. They'd eat 1. And then I'd lose it to this frog. I probably have to kill this frog. So let me just start by stocking up. Negation. Okay. Let me cast Swords on this frog. And then I'm going to cash in on this Flusterstorm. Negation pitched frog. I mean, now my opponent's down to 2 cards again. They might still have a DT, but we're in a really great spot. Force, Sink, Academy, Land. I'll say Force and Sink. And I'll take this Meticulous Archive. I'll take a PO. Yeah, PO's probably winning as well. So I'm probably just casting 4th Airlingas. Not 100% sure what my opponent's like. Oh, I guess I'm not casting 4th Airlingas if I get Wastelanded. Demonic Tutor. Okay. They have 1 card other than the card they're Demonic Tutoring for. I don't know what you Demonic Tutor for in this spot. Like, you can't Ancestral, so maybe it's just Cruise or Dig. If it's Cruise or Dig, then I'll just force it. And then... What did they pitch? They pitched a frog. So unless they drew a Spell Pierce return, they don't have a Spell Pierce. You could have a Mystical Dispute. Oh, they went for Lotus. I don't know if that matters. They just used the wrong mana. They can't cast Lurrus now. Because they have Trop Trop. I don't think that matters, though. So they have one of the cards in their hand is Lurrus, and I have Force now. So I am just going to full send a 4th Erlingas. And this is exactly lethal, so they have to block 1. Then they can take the Monarch back, but who cares? They're not surviving this. There's too many creatures. That was a great second game. This was a beautiful display of why I like the Lurrus PO deck versus the fair frog decks. You can actually like play the fair game better than your opponent in this, and you can leverage the power of your off-color Moxen to get the mana advantage. That was a beautiful game. That was a really, really nice game. And like I said, I think game one might have been winnable if I had played better. I'd have to go back and try to find like an actual spot, but it was a tough game. It was a hard to navigate one. This is certainly a weird hand, but a very controlling hand. One of the problems with a hand like this is Wasteland. I'm gonna have to pick my spot pretty carefully. Especially because I don't want to give this Deathrite Shaman a mana either. Deathrite Shaman doesn't do anything until there's mana in the yard, really. They found a fetch immediately, and they're passing, I assume. Yeah, this is going to be a wait for me as well. Probably want to play on their end step. Probably just go for us. Well, if they have a Bowmaster, they'll play a Bowmaster. But if they don't have a... Oh, I guess now they can play a Bowmaster and do that. They kept a card on top. No Bowmaster. Wasteland. Okay. Wasteland's super annoying here. This is the kind of spot where I used to have the ability to get basic island, basic plains. And now I do not have the ability to get basic island, basic plains. So we'll have to see if that comes back to bite me. Especially because I don't actually have another follow-up land at all. Kind of need to get Tundra, so... I think swordsing this frog is still better than blasting because of our current situation. Could be wrong, though. It might be wrong. They're going to eat for what, a Spell Pierce. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to go Tundra. I guess I'm going to go Tundra Volk and fluster this. This is like the biggest problem with my plan is that my opponent gets... I didn't have any Moxen, so, and my opponent had Wasteland Deathrite, so they have the mana advantage now. It's definitely a problem. The days after this, maybe? They're just going to hit my red source. Mental misstep. All right, I don't think I have a lot of great things happening here. If I get Wastelanded again, I'm back on nothing. They got nothing left. Okay, well, that's good. Nothing left is good for me here. They could have a Bowmaster, of course. I needed to hit a land, though. I don't really feel like playing a Bauble is particularly good because I turned off Misstep, but I also don't think they have like any good Misstep plays except for Ancestral, so maybe I can get a Spell Pierce off of this. I think I'm going to let that happen. I don't actually care about that card. Also, they didn't play a Bowmaster that turn, which was nice. As long as they're not wastelanding me. Like, hopefully they play Deathrite Shaman. I think that's the best thing that can happen for my mental misstep here. I mean, obviously Ancestral, but I don't want them to draw Ancestral. Too many things can go wrong. Oh boy. Oh boy. Nothing. All right, I need to hit land drops. This is the problem with not having island plains. We're already having issues with my one change in my sideboard. Though to be fair, look at all these red cards. Though that's also kind of unlucky. These are just my only red cards in my whole deck. I'm actually pretty lucky my opponent chose to hit the volcanic island. This cannot be cast on my turn when they have ancestral. Or sorry, when they have negation. Cast it in their upkeep though. Spell Pierce. Mystical. No! Mystical Dispute! Oh, man. It's so bad for me. Spell Pierce, Mystical Dispute. I mean, I would have been great if I had a Pyro, but I don't think I'm supposed to wait. I think it's, like, getting worse for me the more I wait, and I had some of it covered, so... I just can't draw a Mox or a land. My opponent can't do it either. There's a land. No stock up. Soul Ring. Well, somehow I don't think this is resolving, but maybe it will. Oh, it did resolve. Maybe my opponent's just gonna play an oof or something. What a weird game. They must have all permission, right? Oof, yeah. Well, nothing I can do, man. I used my swords already. Grafdigger's Cage. That's a really weird one to bring in versus me, but that's fine. It's gonna turn off both of our Lurruses. Portable Hole. All right. We'll cast it. Somehow I feel like this is getting enforced. Wow. All right, well, I might just never hit a land and die. I am turn 10, and I've drawn 0 lands, 0 mocks, so... I have 9 attacks on this oof, but any, like, real threat is going to be a problem. Would I be in a better place if I had Basic Island, Basic Plains? Like, I would, right? I would definitely be in a better place. I would have Merchant Scroll. I would have had Vexing Bauble activate. Like, this is just entirely because I changed my... I mean, I guess I don't know if this Misty Rainforest would have been a Tundra fetchable. What were my other cards? Or did I only fetch one? No, I fetched twice. I had a Misty and a Delta. I guess there's a possibility that both cards were not strands, but like the likelihood that one of them was a strand is super high. Come on, let me play the game. I'm on turn 10. All right, well, that's kind of an unfortunate way to end what was really, really good game, really good match. But didn't have 2 basics to fetch, so... What the f... That's crazy. Maybe I should be fetching some other cards away here. I mean, my opponent also has nothing. Okay. This is gonna get the other Volk. Doesn't actually do anything right now. I guess to be fair, my Moxes are not even turned on anymore because of this oof. It's not like I have Force to protect my Snapcaster either. I think the best thing that could happen is my opponent plays a freaking frog there and I counter it. Probe. Somehow, I don't feel like this is going to work out, but... Oh, they had a frog. They have Force of Will, a second Kate. Like, I'm losing to my opponent bringing in a dead card versus me. So what are they holding open? They're holding open Force? Why didn't they play anything? I've already used Ancestral. It's not like I actually have good Merchant Scroll targets. I mean, they're just playing around Pyroblast, probably. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to play an Ambush Viper here. If it gets their Force, it gets their Force, I guess. And then maybe I can hit a land and play... Oh, God, now... Well, they can't replay anything with Lurrus. They can buy and play Lurrus, though. I'll play my Ambush Viper. Are you going to force it? They're going to force it. Pitching Frog. Yeah. They're going to Demonic now? I would just Demonic for Strip Mine and win the game. Yeah. Alright. I mean, what was I supposed to do, man? I just couldn't hit any lands? I kept the 2-lander and I went 12, 13 turns without hitting a land. Drew all 4 of my... I've heard 4 out of 5 of my red cards. None of my trainer blockers. Not that those are good right now anyways. My opponent had -2 cards this game with 2 cages, and it was still bad. Wow, they chose not to get a Wasteland. They must have gotten a Bowmaster then. I drew the tap land. No. No. Oh, too funny. I could have... Oh, at any point I could have Merchant Scrolled for a Sink into Stupor. I didn't even... Did I even think about that? Maybe I didn't even think about that. I mean, I didn't have the second land for a while, but... I immediately surveil a basic to my top of my library. Oh, cool. I'll go to 4 then. All right, my opponent can cast Dig Through Time. I am unlocking myself next turn, and I will have Force Backup to do so. So I might be able to get out from under this. I do need to win pretty fast. I might have been supposed to keep a PO instead of a 4th Aerlingus here as a blue card. But I only have 1 Force, so maybe not. This Pyro is really bad, though. But maybe it stopped them from playing Frog, so... Soul Guide Lantern. Yeah, that's classic. Cage, Lantern, Collector Oof. Killing this Collector Oof is going to free up my opponent to do a hell of a lot of stuff. They won't be able to loop with Lurrus, but they can replay Lurrus. They can play Lurrus. Yeah. All right, I think we might come out of this game alive. Let's see how this goes. I won't have Pyroblast up because I have to use this. Yeah, I think I am just going to destroy that on my turn. And what I'll do is I'll buy my cat. So I can match their cat, which they'll be able to buy and play. Oh, I guess I did open up their Soul Guide Lantern, so that was probably a mistake. Ugh. Oh, Justin. I didn't want to, like, do it. Oh, they just wanted to exile my yard. There's 2 cages in play, friend. That's the whole point of cages. Okay. I think my opponent has made a couple choices here that I would probably not make. Are they playing... Oh, they're just going to go for the... Okay, that's fine. I have the Force that I tutored for that they know about. Though I guess I will lose my Flame of Anor. All right, I'm at 1. I die to a Bowmaster. That's why I really need my Lurrus. I guess my Lurrus is not going to get the job done here. They're going to use Lotus, but they can't replay anything with this Lurrus. So it's just a 3-2 lifelinker, and I have a 3-2 lifelinker. And then my 3-2 lifelinker I like more. Unless they Abrupt Decay my 3-2 lifelinker. And then they drew a Deathrite Shaman. They drew a... Oh, they drew an Oof. Okay. Swords. But I need both my white to play the Lurrus to save me. Oh, wait, it doesn't save... Yeah, it saves me. Because it's lifelinking. I kind of hope they draw like a frog that I can blast here into a swords. This game is really close. This is, I mean, it wouldn't be close if my opponent just didn't have cages in their deck and they had any other spell, but I have to block and trade my Lurrus, but it puts me to 4, so now I don't die to a Bowmaster. Okay. I don't have another red source, so I can't hold open Pyroblast. So I'll swords this. See if they have a negation or something, which I can Pyroblast. Okay, I can Pyroblast that. I don't have enough to play 4th now, because I don't have a red source. They're at 0 cards. I'm at 1 card that's kind of 0 cards. We'll see. They drew a Deathrite. That's going to be a problem eventually here. Trainer. So I think I lead with a Trainer, because a mana can become net neutral here. I don't think I want to kick a Trainer. I think I just want... Ooh. I lied. I think I'm just going to stock up. I just want to swords this, kind of. Oh, I didn't hit swords. Okay, I'm going to go Ruby. PO, and then I'm gonna just play a 4th for 1. And if my opponent wants to trade trump, that's okay. Oh, though I won't be able to flash back this 4th until those cages are gone, which means I won't actually be able to win this game fast enough to win. Yeah, okay. I might have screwed that one up because I do need to kill this Death Rush. I mean, I guess I can kick a trainer next turn. All right, whatever. I gotta play really fast, chat. I might have to do some things that are silly. Okay, Tundra. Kick this. Chain. Maybe we should just put another PO. Swords. Swords this. I go to 2. Attack. Chain at least blocks hits a frog. I'm at 2. Basically dead to a Bowmaster. Skimmer. I'm just gonna chain it. They can get rid of a token, I guess. It's fine. That's fine. Maybe that's actually bad because I need a win, but... I attack. I'm not going to have enough time to win this game. It's going to be... I mean, I definitely won this game, but I'm not going to have enough time to win this game. Maybe I will. Saga. Are they going to concede? Yeah, I can do it. I believe in myself here. I have a time walk. I think I can do it. 16. An unencountered error? It's going to restart the game? What? It's... What? 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 No. I have to watch it all happen again. No, this is not happening. No, 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 no. Oh my God, I have to watch my pain for 12 turns of nothing happening. Oh my God, chat. Oh my God. Okay, this is definitely going to become one video. This is gonna become one video, I think. Oh my God. So am I gonna get to the same point as last time and I'm gonna have 1:30 left? Is that what's gonna happen? Or is it gonna get stuck somewhere between? I just played an Urza Saga and the game broke. That sequence there was brutal where I had the misstep and they had a mystical dispute. Wow. This is a great match. This match is great. I still, if we get all the way back to the same point we were at before where the restart happened, I still need to win in 1.5. So I need to play all my Moxen, play my Saga, play my Time Walk. I might PO, but I might like not be able to PO because I can't flash back my Time Walk with Snapcaster because there's 2 cages in play. But I kind of have to like F6 through some turns, but I don't... Do I have a force in my yard? I think I've already used my force, so there's really nothing for me to PO draw into besides like more removal. But I kind of have to, right? Oh boy. I can't believe we're watching this all happen again. It's not taking up any of my time, though. Is it going to give me 7 minutes back? That's kind of cheating. I mean, we're almost there. I really regretted this sequence here. Though again, if my opponent had just drawn a card off of Soul Guide Lantern instead of cracking and clearing my yard, because they have 2 cages in play, they would have been a lot better off. I think my opponent was... So game 1, I felt like I was supposed to win and I played badly, but this game I feel like I was supposed to lose by narrow margins, and my opponent maybe took a couple of mistakes along the way, played a couple cages they weren't supposed to play, that kind of thing. This one I wasn't sure. Maybe I was actually supposed to kick that Thunder Trap Trainer. That was kind of a mistake. Might have been a bit of a mistake. I can't believe we're basically getting back to the spot we were at before, but I have 7 more minutes. I don't know how that happened. I feel like I shouldn't be able to punt it from 7 more minutes. So I know they have a skimmer in their hand, +1. I'm just wondering if I'm going to go back to 1 minute on the clock after this. I must have the Moto Premium. I want to see if I can win it in 1:30. I think I might be able to. I feel like I should be able to. I should have taken the Pyroblast. I think this is like a winning spot. I think it's a win. I shouldn't have pitched Dress Down, but I probably can't cast Dress Down, so. How much time it give me? I think I've used 1 minute. Yeah, I got it. I got there. 7, yeah, GG's. Oh my God. Did I have 1 minute? How much time did I have? Because all I have to do is untap and attack here. Oh, that was one of the craziest matches I've ever played. Let's go quickly look at the time. Look at the time. Okay, look, if I look, that was a 53-minute recording. And when I restarted, so when it froze, I had 1:20. I had 1:20, and then I came back at 10:28. It gave me even more time than I thought it was gonna. I came back at 10:28, and I ended the game at almost 9:28. So I had 25 more seconds, so I definitely got there. Sweet. I can't believe I started this video. And I was talking about how I wanted to play faster and I wasn't going to talk as much. And then somehow I used up all of my time and the game. Oh man, so this is an hour recording plus this is gonna become one video. Don't worry, I will get the rest of these matches played at some point, but I have to go do something else right now. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna put up more vintage gameplay videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, especially leading up to Eternal Weekend in Europe and in Japan. I'll be playing in both of those, so I will be gone for a whole month almost, like 3 weeks at least. I don't think I'm gonna have time to make a backlog of videos for you guys, but if I do, then I'll try to keep some Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos coming up. If not, then it's I've only taken 1 or 2 breaks in the 7 years of making YouTube videos or so. So maybe it's a well-earned little rest here. As it's not really a rest. I'm gonna go play Magic around the world, but either way, leading up to Eternal Weekend here, I'm gonna try to get you as much of my practice content as I can and more videos. So stick around, and I'll see you then.